And so find that nice supported seat, whatever that is. Have a blanket under you, have props under your knees if you need to, so that you really feel held in your seat. And once you find that really nice, comfortable seat, I invite you to then take a big breath in and out. Maybe you sigh out or sound out, and gently close your eyes. And just take a moment to arrive. Just take a moment to notice yourself here and now in this beautiful space that you've created for yourself. And feel your body first. Feel your lower body settling downward. Your feet, your legs, your sit bones. And notice how as you take those breaths, with each exhale, you can tell your lower body to settle a little bit more. You can allow it to sink, to ground into the support beneath. And from that place of groundedness, begin to feel a gentle lift through the spine, lengthening the spine as you breathe in, perhaps releasing and relaxing the shoulders as you breathe out. Just noticing that very gentle engagement that helps you stay lifted, feeling strong, but at the same time maintaining that softness around the shoulders, softness at your face. And if there's any gentle movement you feel like you need to do to find that place of ease or softness, go right ahead and do that. And we'll begin with some heart-focused breathing, leading to the setting of our intention for today's practice. So I invite you now to switch your awareness to your breathing. Notice the flow of breath in and out, whatever it may be today. And then let's make some gentle effort to maybe open up that breath a little more by evening it out, smoothing it out, slowing it down, finding a nice smooth rhythm of breathing. And then imagining that that breath is flowing to and from your heart. Heart-focused breathing. Feel the breath flowing to and from your heart center. You might even visualize that in some way. Taking in the breath, taking in the life force into your heart, and then sending out from the heart as well as you breathe out. And so from this space of the heart, we will now connect to our intention for our practice. And you might use the general intention of healing or self-healing. Or there may be a particular intention that will promote your healing. Perhaps there's a particular intention that feels right to you that you know will help support or promote your own self-healing. Maybe it's love, maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's trust. So just take a moment to ask yourself, ask your heart, your inner wisdom, and see what arises for you. What intention do you want to hold? An intention that supports your healing. And then connect to the feeling of that intention at your heart. Imagine you are already there, Feel that love, that gratitude, that trust. Feel healed and whole already. Again, whatever your intention is. Feel it in your heart space as you continue to breathe in and out from your heart. And throughout our practice, we will reconnect to this intention, to the feeling of our intention as we go from pose to pose. But for now, let's simply take 3 big breaths to send the intention that we're holding for ourselves, send it out into the world, sharing it with the world as well. So taking that nice big breath in on the exhale, either sigh out, sound out, or just take that big exhale out, sending your intention out into the world as well. And at your own pace, 2 more times. When that feels complete to you, gently open your eyes. All right, and we're going to begin as we've done in the past with a little bit of tapping, just a real quick tapping sequence this morning, and it'll actually serve a couple purposes. Of course, we've been doing our tapping in order to kind of wake ourselves up, to acquaint ourselves with our bodies each time, and to get some circulation going, to create some appreciation for the body. But today, because we're going to do some self-massage, it'll actually also serve to activate the energy in our hands and fingertips as we do the tapping. So I'm going to start. We're going to do it seated. And again, it'll be a quick tapping. I'm going to start with my feet. Doesn't matter which foot you start with. So just some tapping at the tops of the feet. And then we basically kind of caress or glide around the joints. So gliding around the joints, the ankle. And then again, you can tap either with fingertips or your hands at the shins and the calves. And then again, just kind of caressing or gliding around the knee. Looking up into the thigh. Hello, leg. Hello, thigh. Good morning. Waking it up, appreciating it. And then going to the other side. And maybe depending on what your intention is, it makes sense to even bring your intention back into your awareness as you work with the tapping and tap through your body in this way. And just easing your way up, moving your way up the other leg here. Loving the body. Seeing how it feels. Seeing how it feels today. So as you finish up with the legs, kind of lean forward and get your glutes. Glutes always feel good. I kind of like using my fists for my glutes because they can take it. So a little bit of tapping at the glutes, and then come up to your lower back. I like to take my hands and just kind of bring my hands to either side of the sacrum, and again, just kind of really give some love to those SI joints on either side. And then you can begin to work your way up the back a little bit along the spine, either side of the spine. Again, it kind of helps to do fists here since the back muscles are able to take that little extra pressure without being too much. And then finding the edge of the ribs or the lower part of the ribs, just using fingertips to come around. And we get the diaphragm here, all at the lower ribs. And then a little bit on the belly. Get the connection to our Agni, our digestion. And then coming up the sternum. What's nice about this tapping is that we don't even realize we're hitting a bunch of Marma points along the way. And we're going to specifically work with certain Marma points on the neck, head, and face for our face massage. And then coming into the pecs, the chest. I like to move my shoulders so I can get behind a little bit. And then down the arm. Wake up those fingers, the hands. Again, we want to get the energy going in the fingers and the hands. And then bringing the hand to the head. back of the arm, the tricep region, down the side of the body. And maybe brushing it off. I always like to brush it off the arm and the side body. And then the other side. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back. Yes, you always do such a good job acknowledging yourself. We don't acknowledge ourselves enough. That's part of self-healing, right? Self-acceptance, self-acknowledgement. Doing the other side body. And brushing it off. Everything we've worked up, all of it being brushed off. Wonderful. So before we move on to the neck and the head, and we're going to kind of segue right into our massage, Marma Massage. This is where optionally you could get your tennis ball or therapy ball, or if you don't have it or if you don't want to use it, that's fine. We're going to work with 2 marma points right at the base of the neck, top of the shoulders, and kind of release a little tension there before we get into the head. So you could either take your fingertips and just kind of sink them right there, right at the center, and you'll know, because we all know where we hold our tension here, that tenderness right here at the upper traps. So you could just gently sink. You don't have to push hard. Just take your fingers and allow the weight of your hand to sink down, and you'll feel that maybe a little bit of tenderness. It might feel good because you're getting a little pressure there. So that's the one option. If you want to use your ball, if you've got traps that feel like bricks, like sometimes I do, it might help to have the ball, and you can actually put the ball there. And when you put the ball there, you just kind of hold the ball, and once again, you just let your hand, the weight of your hand sink down, and it offers a little more pressure because of that. And then right here, we're just going to begin to do some neck movement. We're holding that place. So just be mindful that your shoulder is not lifted up. You're not engaging the shoulder on the other side. So really let the weight of your arm and your hand sink. And just begin to do some nice movement with the head, flexion, extension. Breathe with this movement. After a few times in flexion, extension, you can turn the head left to right. Breathing with this. And just the movement of the head, you're going to feel like you're getting a little bit of a massaging sensation there where you're holding your fingers or where you're holding the ball. And then sideways. And just take ear to shoulder slowly. And after doing a few times in each of those directions, you can just play with movement. So maybe just very gently free flow your head. And whatever movement might feel good. And if you find a point where, ooh, that feels nice there, let's just hold it for a couple extra breaths. So exploring movement of the head to see how that affects this point at the top of the shoulders. One more breath wherever you are. Big breath, relaxing. Maybe you can imagine that shoulder releasing a little bit more. Awesome. And then release the ball. Shake out the hands a little bit. Maybe even brush off if you feel like you worked something up and you want to brush it off. Little tapping on the side of the neck just to free it up. And then brush it off again. And then just take a moment to pause. Maybe you close your eyes and breathe. Just to notice the difference. Hopefully you do feel a difference. I know I do, just from that little bit. So let's do the other side. So again, fingers if you want, or the ball, either way. And just take a moment. You don't have to press hard. Just let your hand weight settle downward. Relax the shoulder especially. And when you feel like you've established that connection, that comfortable connection, then you can begin the movement through the head, the neck. Just a few times in all of those directionals, the way that we can move our neck. Mindfully moving, breathing, keeping the face relaxed, noticing if the shoulders engage and trying to keep them relaxed as well. And of course, going free form with your movement once you've gone in all the directions. Mindfully flowing that head, noticing what feels good. So this is a really simple way to deal with that tension we often hold. Just take a couple minutes, take a break from the computer, take a break from whatever you're doing. Again, maybe you have your ball handy, you can use it, or maybe you just use your hands or your fingers. And this is a great way to release. So then when that feels complete, you're going to take your ball, move it off to the side. And again, just kind of gentle tap on the side of the neck with your fingertips. And then flush it out. Whatever we worked up, take a moment. Hopefully that feels a little more balanced on both sides. Okay, so now as we go into the neck and the head, this is where if you have essential oil or if you have like a face cream, which the face cream actually you can wait till you get to the face, but if you have an essential oil, I'm using a lavender oil here, just take a drop and you might add a drop to the cream if you don't have a therapeutic grade oil that you want to apply directly to your body. I do recommend having a therapeutic grade oil if you're going to apply it directly as opposed to mixing it with something. So just take a drop, rub it in your hands. I always love, I'm using some lavender today. Oh, so relaxing, so soothing. And just take a whiff of that beautiful oil. If you don't have an oil, no worries. You can just rub your hands together and just get that energy flowing. It's not a big deal. And then we're going to start with the back of the neck. So at the back of the neck, just tap at the back of the neck with your fingertips on either side of the spine. And there are marma points on either side of the spine here at the back of the neck. We're just gently accessing them. We're not pressing hard. Just a nice press. And then we're going to go to the base of the skull. So I'll turn around. Hopefully you can see this a little better. But all the way up here at the base of the skull, you'll feel like there's a middle point right at the top of the spine, at the base of the skull. That's our nuchal ligament. We're going to go to either side of that, right under the skull. So you can take whatever fingers or maybe your thumbs and just settle right on either side of that nuchal ligament, right at the center, and just take a moment and you can cradle your head. Just cradle your head like that. Let your weight of your thumbs sink. You don't have to press hard unless you want to, but you don't have to injure your thumbs or hurt your thumbs in any way. And just maybe close the eyes, take a few breaths, and feel the weight of your thumbs sinking into those points. And this is where, as we go through each point, you can affirm your intention to yourself. Reconnect with the energy, the feeling of your intention as you go from point to point all along your head and your face. And so from that point, now we'll go to the nuchal ligament, that center point, and you can use both thumbs or fingers on both hands or just one if you'd like. If you want to give your arm a break. Awesome. Breathe as you feel. So the key is just, it's not really about the pressure so much, it's just creating that connection. Nice deep breath in and out. And then we're going to work our way up and actually take your fingers, 4 fingers, place them at your forehead right above your eyebrows. And then take another 4 fingers from your other hand and place them on top, align them along. So you basically have found the center of your head. Once you do that, that's the center of your head. That's a marma point. We're going to go to a point right behind the center marma point. So you take 2 more fingers and align them there. And now feel the point right behind there. We're going to go to that particular marma point. So again, either with one or both hands, you can do this. It doesn't matter. You can alternate your hands if you want to give the arms a break. And just let the fingertips sink and settle. Breathe. You might even be able to do a little circular movement if that feels good. Sometimes that feels good to me. Sometimes I just like to sink the weight of my fingertip and I don't do any movement. Whatever feels good to you. But connect with the intention. Feel the energy flowing at that point. So now once again, those 2 fingertips and find that center point again. And sink into that center point. Adipati Marma. Right at the crown. Connection to source. Our Sahasrara or crown chakra as well. It's the same point. Breathing your intention into that point. So we like to spend about 4 or 5 breaths. 2 fingertips again, and we find the point in front of our center Adipati Marma point. So find that point at the front. 2 fingers away from the center point. Let the fingertips sink. Beautiful. Just feeling the energy beginning to flow. And then coming to Ajna Chakra or Sthapani Marma, right at the third eye, Again, bringing your forefinger, your middle finger, maybe your thumb, whatever feels right to you, right there. And again, you might do circular movement, or you may just let the gentleness of the fingertips sink into that point, making connection, feeling the energetic connection, and affirming your attention here for self-healing. And then we're going to move on to the eyebrow point. So I like to use my thumb and forefinger, and we're going to go right to the inner part of the eyebrow, the inner point of the eyebrow. And so just gently squeeze the inner corner of the eyebrow and gently pull. So you've got a little squeeze and pull going, and breathe into that inner eyebrow point, working again with your intention of healing. When I do this work, I have a 3-phrase kind of mantra that I use. So we're going to move from the inner eyebrow to the center of your eyebrow. Again, just gently squeeze and pull. And that 3-phrase mantra is cleared and transmuted, freed and flowing, healed and whole. So I like that because it kind of takes care of everything, and at least the way I think of it. In terms of energy healing. We're going to go to the outer edges of your eyebrows. So again, gentle squeeze at the outer edges of the eyebrows and pull. You're clearing and transmuting any stuck energy. You're allowing your Marma energy to be free and flowing. And then concluding with the healed and whole, feeling healed and whole. So maybe you might like that as well, if that resonates with you. Wonderful. So then we're going to take our fingers and just brush the forehead, and imagine whatever we've kind of maybe worked up, we're letting go. And we're going to work our way down onto the nose. So taking your forefingers and from the bridge of the nose, kind of sliding down halfway, midway on either side of your nose. And again, just let your fingertips sink gently. You can really smell your oil if you happen to have oil on your hands. And this is where those breathe right strips will usually land if you have ever used those. And again, it's not a lot of pressure. Really, it's about connection, feeling the connection of the fingertips into that area of the body. And then we're going to slide down. You're going to go right kind of to the corner, but not all the way down outside of your nostrils. You're going to be kind of right above your nostrils, right above where your nostrils kind of flare. And we're just going to allow the fingertips to gently sink there. Again, a couple of nice breaths. Healed and whole, cleared and transmuted, freed and flowing, healed and whole. And now we are going to go to the outside of the nostrils. So all the way down to the outside of the nostrils, right at the bottom outer corners of your nose. And one more time, letting your fingertips sink. Beautiful. And then taking your fingers and just kind of sweeping, and then across your cheeks, down the nose and across the cheeks. Letting all that go. And then right at in between the nose, right at the upper lip and the nose there, just a gentle press there. And you'll notice if you do any kind of EFT tapping, that a lot of these points are the same. It's not a coincidence. Beautiful. Awesome. From there, we're going to go to the jaw joint, all right? So kind of feel down in front of your ear, feel for where you can move your jaw around and you'll feel the joint there. When you move it around, you'll be able to tell where that is. So I like to take 2 fingers and just sink into that jaw joint. For some of us, it might even be tender. If you are someone who maybe clenches your jaw or have TMJ, you might feel some tenderness here. So we never press too hard. We never want to be in any kind of pain, of course. So gauge how much you allow the weight of your fingers to sink based on what feels right to you at any given point. Cleared and transmuted, freed and flowing, healed and whole. And then sweep all down the jawline, let it go. Do that a few times. Let that go. Now we're going to take our forefinger and thumbs again. We're going to do a little pinch again. And it's not the earlobe. It's right kind of above the earlobe. So your forefinger goes right above the earlobe, at your face, on your face, the edge of your face and your ear, and the thumb goes behind at the base of your ear and your skull almost. So you're just kind of pulling that skin, gentle press, pinch, and pull of that skin above the earlobe on either side of the ear. A couple of nice breaths. That can be tender also. So just again, be mindful. Ah, beautiful. And then sweep that along the jawline as well. Letting that go. Beautiful. And then we're going to finally go finish off with some lymphatic points. So the fingertips right at the front of the neck on either side. And it's like a little L shape. So it's like you're pushing back gently and then pulling down. But it's very light. It's very gentle. It's like a gentle pulling back of the skin and then a gentle pull down. And we're just getting the lymphatic fluid flowing to the lymph nodes. Right? So you might feel a gentle pull of the skin as you do this. You're pulling back with the fingertips and then gently pulling down along the front to the side of your neck. I'll do that a handful of times. Beautiful. And then let's just sweep that off again, whatever we worked up. And again, rub those hands together. Maybe you bring your hands just over your eyes, just cupping your eyes, softening the face. Feel the energy of your hands at your face. One more nice big breath. And then taking those fingertips over the forehead, down the back of the head, and sweeping everything off. Off your shoulders, from the forehead to the back of the head, off your shoulders, shake out your hands. Take a big breath in and out and just pause for a moment. Just noticing how that feels. Having done that nice little simple, but I find to be very effective Marma face massage.